Hey, what's going on, my friend? It's Jeff Newport from ChasingStrength.com. And in today's video, we are going to answer the question that I often get, which is, what about doing only kettlebell swings for fat loss? Have you ever thought about that? Or maybe something similar, picking one or two exercises, maybe just one kettlebell exercise and doing only that exercise, like snatches or clean and jerks, without having to worry about pesky little things like watching what you eat. The diet and nutrition aspect portion of this whole calories in, calories out, fat loss thing. Well, if so, you are not alone. In fact, there's a thread over on the StrongFirst forum. I recommend you check it out about this very thing. And the OP was asking if it was possible to do only, by only, I mean all caps, only swings for fat loss. And a bunch of people chimed in and said, no, it's not possible. In fact, that in their opinion, based on their experience, diet alone was the only way to strip off body fat. And look, while I agree that diet or nutrition, whatever you want to call it, is important, eating less of the wrong things, right? More of the right things. The little known fact is that there is an urban legend that if you do enough, air quotes, right? We've got to get the air quotes in on this channel. If you do enough swings, you can strip off body fat without dieting. All right. And of course, that is part of the allure of kettlebell training, at least based on my observation after being in the kettlebell game or industry or niche or whatever you want to call it for the last, I don't know, 21, 22 years. So, here's another little known fact, which you may or may not know, that back in the early days of the kettlebell renaissance or revolution, whatever you want to call it, the kettlebell was touted as and we're going to put this in quotes because this was part of the advertising, right? A handheld gym for extreme, with an X, right? Not an E. It was extreme, capital X, all-round fitness. All right, from one of the original ads, we'll throw this up here, this quote up here, which is part of the original advertising. Watch in amazement as high rep kettlebells let you hack the fat off your meat without the dishonor of aerobics and dieting. Right, it's a wonderful ad copy. Right, as a consumer, right, as a consumer of marketing ad copy as well. Like, I love that, and honestly, that was one of the things that attracted me to kettlebells is I thought, hey, man, this is a really good way for me to get my clients faster than normal results, right? So that brings up some questions, and questions like, how high rep is high rep? Is it 10 reps? Is it 15 reps? Is it 20 reps per set more? And is that high rep sets, right? Or just high reps? Or is it a total in the workout, like high rep workouts, right? Is this making sense? So what's the condition for those high reps? That's really what we're looking for. Those are really the guidelines that we're looking for. All right. So let's bring it back down to one of the things we've seen in the last 10, 15, 20 years here is that one of the time tested set and rep schemes for conditioning is 10 sets of 10 reps. Or 100 reps per workout done 2 to 3 times a week, right? But is that enough for stripping off body fat? Well, I guess it depends on several things, right? 5 things in particular. 1, who you talk to. 2, what kind of shape the person is in who's using the 10 by 10, right? What size kettlebell or kettlebells are being used, right? How good or bad your recovery abilities are. And the 5th and final one is how many times a week you're actually training. So what I found is that fat loss from kettlebell ballistics comes down to this equation. And we'll flash this up here on the screen here. All right. So it's work done outside your comfort zone times just enough recovery between sets times long enough duration equals fat loss. All right. So let's break that down a little more. So work outside your comfort zone, that equals higher reps with slightly lighter kettlebells or lower reps with heavier kettlebells, right? Or move your kettlebells faster or different kettlebell ballistics. For example, if you're used to using swings, well, maybe you're going to use double kettlebell swings, or maybe you're going to use snatches, or maybe you're going to use clean and jerks. You're not going to stick to the same exercise that you're used to using, all right? Because more likely than not, your body is accommodated to the stimulus provided by that particular kettlebell ballistic. Just enough recovery between sets. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that's enough to keep your power output high, but still keep your heart rate elevated. So what we're talking about is usually no less than a 1-to-2 work to rest ratio. Okay, so if you're working 30 seconds, you're resting no less than 60 seconds. Okay, so for superhumans, right, if you fall in the superhuman category, you can use 1-to-1 work rest ratio. All right, What does long enough duration mean? Well, that's dependent upon the individual. So what I've noticed is it's anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, depending on the individual. Again, like all the things that you bring to the table. And that's usually 3 times per week. All right. So how do you apply this information to yourself if you want to use it? Well, that's what you have a training log for, right? I mean, hopefully you've got a training log, training journal, whatever you want to call it. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at where you're comfortable and you're going to start making yourself uncomfortable. All right. So it's really that simple. Whatever you're really good at doing, find the things you suck at. Stop doing the things you're good at and start doing more of the things you suck at. All right. So if you don't have the time and wherewithal to build your own swing only or ballistics only diet-free kettlebell program, I can suggest 2 for you. Okay. The first one is a program I have called Swing Hard, and it's 10 different power endurance swing only programs. Right. So there's only swing workouts in there, swing programs. Right. So just in case we're not on the same page here, a program is made up of individual workouts that become harder over time, that force your body to do more work, which produces the adaptation that you're looking for, which in this case is losing body fat. Okay. So one of my customers, Andrew, he reports from using Swing Hard 1.2. We'll flash that up here on the screen. He says, Swing Hard 1.2 was an interesting experience. I've been using 2x20 kilos for a particular program. So I thought I'd do my 2-hand swings with 24 kilos, just a small challenge, I thought. So there you go. He's making right changes. He's moving from one ballistic or one exercise that he's comfortable with to one that he's not. Okay. So he said, in just 5.5 weeks, my waistline flattened really noticeably without any major dietary changes. All right. This program tore through my belly fat with amazing efficiency. Shirts and jeans fit better, and other people remarked on the improvement. This is definitely the best fat loss response I've had to any program, including distance running. All right. So I think that's great. Okay. Now, if you want to check out Swing Hard, I'll leave a link in the program I'll leave a link to the program in the description below. Okay. The next one is called Kettlebell Hard, and that is actually a compendium of programs very similar to Swing Hard. All right. And as the name implies, these are very hard programs. They're 20 different programs using kettlebell complexes and chains, specifically double kettlebell complexes and double kettlebell chains. Okay. So this is for people like me who would rather put a bullet in their head than do only swings. All right. So this guy, Mike, wrote me, and he said about his experience with the You Don't Know Squat 2.0 program found in Kettlebell Hard, that he lopped 2 inches off his waist in only 6 weeks. All right. So we'll flash that up there. He says waist down from 39 inches to 37 inches, feel much stronger and own the weights. And he's 55. So, if you're over 50 and you're wondering if you can do this sort of thing or if this type of programming work for you, well, it works for Mike. So it might work for you too. All right. So I'll leave a link for Kettlebell Hard in the description below. And hopefully this clears up the concept or the question: can you dump body fat? Can you strip off body fat? Can you lose fat from doing only swings or any other kettlebell ballistic without having to diet? All right. So you're going to have to test it for yourself and see if you really want to find out the answer for yourself. Okay. Like I said, I'll leave the links to the programs mentioned in this video below in the description. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and click the like button, right? The share button and the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And you know what else? Drop me your experience in the comments section. Have you done swings only for fat loss? Have you done other kettlebell ballistics only programs for fat loss? And if so, what was your experience? All right. Well, hopefully you found this video helpful. Until next time, my friend, stay strong.